If you're a die-hard Browns fan and love breaking down the game like we do, hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell so you never miss a blitz. It's no secret that the Cleveland Browns endured a brutal 2020 season, one that fans would sooner forget than relive, finishing dead last in points per game with just 15.2. Their offense was nothing short of catastrophic. Between the carousel of different starting quarterbacks and the unrelenting 66 sacks allowed, the unit simply could not find any rhythm. Turnovers piled up, drives stalled out, and the team couldn't get out of its own way every Sunday. It seemed like another brick was added to the wall of dysfunction. And while the offense bore the brunt of the criticism, and rightly so, the defense, as good as it could be in flashes, was dragged down by sheer exhaustion. They were constantly put in terrible field positions, forced to defend short fields, and spend far too long on the turf. But amid that chaos, one voice has risen recently with a spark of confidence: defensive end Alex Wright, who was sidelined for most of the season with a torn triceps, broke his silence and addressed his place on the team in no uncertain terms. Obviously, they're looking for the person that's next to Myles Garrett. Who's going to be on the other side? He said, and if you don't come in and do what you gotta do, it won't be you. You either accept the challenge or you shy away from it, and I don't plan on shying away from anything. That's the kind of tone Browns fans have been desperate to hear: bold, hungry, and unflinching. Wright's not just talking about coming back, he's talking about coming for that starting role, for that respect, and for that spot alongside one of the most feared defenders in the league. And he's not mincing words, he's ready for war. There's no overstating the importance of a reliable pass rusher opposite Myles Garrett. For years, the Browns have cycled through names hoping someone would stick. Darius Smith provided a flash last season with 5 sacks, but he was shipped out at the deadline, leaving a massive void. Nobody else on the team not named Garrett reached more than 3 sacks all year. That's a stat that should send shivers down the spines of Cleveland's coaching staff. It's not just about numbers, it's about pressure. Quarterbacks need to fear both edges. If all the heat comes from Garrett's side, offenses simply scheme away from him, and the Browns' defensive ceiling collapses. Alex Wright stepping into that role could transform this defense from dangerous to devastating. Before his injury, Wright was trending in exactly that direction. In 2023, he quietly notched 5 sacks and was becoming a key rotational piece in the front seven. He showed flashes, real ones, of being a disruptive force on the edge. He wasn't just cleaning up garbage plays, he was beating tackles, collapsing pockets, and making quarterbacks uncomfortable. That kind of growth isn't accidental. It comes from reps, preparation, and a hunger to improve. That's what makes his absence in 2020 so painful. A torn triceps derailed what could have been a true breakout campaign, limiting him to just 4 games and 1 sack. But with that injury behind him, Wright's mindset is all about redemption and elevation. What makes Wright's recent comments so important isn't just the bravado, it's the accountability. He knows what's at stake, not just for himself, but for the team. The Browns don't just need bodies on the field, they need warriors. They need someone who won't flinch in the face of double teams, who won't tap out after a bad play, who won't disappear when the lights are brightest. And most of all, they need someone who understands that playing next to Myles Garrett isn't just a job. It's an opportunity to feed off greatness and elevate the entire unit. Wright sees that, and he's making it clear he's not backing down from the moment. The Browns tried to address their front seven issues through the draft by taking Mason Graham at No. 5 overall. And make no mistake, Graham is going to be a beast in the middle. His presence at defensive tackle should solidify the interior, plugging gaps and collapsing pockets from the inside out. But even the most dominant tackles can't do it alone. Edge rushers are the ones who chase quarterbacks out of the pocket, disrupt timing, and force mistakes. Garrett can do it on one side, but unless someone steps up on the other, the formula falls flat. That's where Wright's return becomes a game changer. It's not hyperbole to say this defense's success hinges in part on Wright's resurgence. Think about it. If he returns to 2023 for more better, the Browns suddenly become a nightmare. For offensive lines, teams won't be able to slide protection solely toward Garrett. Quarterbacks won't be able to buy time rolling to their right. Every snap becomes a gamble, and that ripple effect extends to the secondary. Better edge pressure leads to hurried throws, more opportunities for interceptions, and a lot less stress on the back end. Wright becoming that consistent second threat doesn't just help Garrett, it lifts the entire defense. But this isn't just about physical talent, it's about mindset. Wright's quote shows a player who's not just trying to come back, he's trying to take what's his. That's the attitude that builds dynasties. That's the mindset Garrett needs next to him. And it's not coming from someone who's new to the game or unsure of himself. Wright's been through the battles, dealt with the rehab, and knows what it takes to climb back. He's not rattled by expectations. In fact, he seems fueled by them. "I haven't shied away from a thing in my life," he said. That kind of fire doesn't just inspire teammates, it ignites locker rooms. As training camp approaches, all eyes will be on Wright's health and how he performs when the pads come on. The coaching staff is likely praying he hits the ground running, because the depth at edge rusher is thin and the margin for error even thinner. Cleveland's 2025 season can't afford another defensive step backward. The offense still has questions to answer, but if the defense can reclaim its identity, the Browns can at least stay competitive. And for that to happen, someone has to rise up next to Garrett and make life hell for opposing offenses, right? More than anyone on the roster, looks like the man ready to answer that call. Only time will tell if Alex Wright can truly seize that opportunity and become the running mate Garrettan this entire city needs. But one thing's for sure, he's not short on confidence, and he's got the skills to back it up. If his body holds up and the chips fall the right way, Wright could become one of the most important players on this Browns team. His comeback story is still being written, but if it ends the way he envisions, Cleveland's defense might just go from being a one-man show to a two-headed monster. And that, Browns fans, is exactly what this team has been waiting for. Enjoying the content so far? Smash that like button and drop your take in the comments. We want to hear what you think about the Browns this season. There's a new wave of NFL whispers circling around the league, and it's got everyone asking the same question. Did Kevin Stefanski just hint at SHEDEUR Sanders heading to the Pittsburgh Steelers? Yep, that's the rumor making its rounds. After what seemed like an innocent but telling moment caught behind the scenes, the Browns head coach was reportedly heard saying good luck in Pittsburgh to SHEDEUR Sanders during a casual off-season meetup, and ever since, speculation has exploded like wildfire across social media, forums, and locker rooms alike. Is this just a friendly farewell, or is there more to this than meets the eye? When someone like Stefanski speaks, especially during a time of massive QB speculation, people listen. And right now, it feels like we're witnessing the first sparks of a potentially massive NFL storyline. Could SHEDEUR be donning black and gold come this fall? The signs are starting to line up in very curious ways. For starters, let's look at the context. Kevin Stefanski isn't exactly the kind of coach who throws words around lightly. He's meticulous, calculated, and aware that even a single sentence can set the league on fire. So for him to say good luck in Pittsburgh to SHEDEUR, well, that's not just idle small talk. SHEDEUR Sanders, the son of Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, has been one of the most talked about quarterback prospects in recent memory. His name alone generates buzz. But his performances at Colorado have shown that he's more than just a legacy, he's the real deal. He's got the arm, the poise, the charisma, and most importantly, he's got that it factor, the kind of player who could turn around a franchise if given the right weapons, the right scheme, and the right leadership. Could Mike Tomlin and the Steelers be setting the table for just that now? It's important to note that the Steelers haven't exactly shut down the SHEDEUR talk either. While they haven't made any formal statements, because why would they? At this stage, there's been a noticeable shift in how their scouting department has operated this offseason. There have been quiet visits, behind closed doors meetings, and a handful of scouts spotted at Colorado games throughout last season. Nothing concrete, sure, but where there's smoke, there's often fire, and Pittsburgh knows it's time to find their next franchise QB. Kenny Pickett's departure left a vacuum, and though Russell Wilson is in the building, no one sees him as the long-term answer. He's a bridge, a placeholder, and SHEDEUR, he could be the guy they're building that bridge toward. Stefanski saying goodbye might not be a clue about the Browns' plans. It might be a confirmation of the Steelers, but let's not forget the Stefanski-Sanders connection itself. Though they haven't worked directly together, sources close to both camps have said they've shared mutual respect through various league functions, player camps, and private quarterback summits. Stefanski is known to keep tabs on young quarterbacks, especially those with elite pedigree, and SHEDEUR's name has come up in more than a few of those conversations. One insider even claims Stefanski really admired SHEDEUR's ability to command a locker room despite being so young. If true, that makes his parting words, "Good luck in Pittsburgh," even more layered. It's not just a send-off. It could be a subtle nod of approval, an insider tip that one coach is passing on to another. And in this league, relationships like those often shape careers. Then there's the question of timing. Why now? Why is this rumor breaking at this specific point in the offseason? The NFL calendar is a strategic beast. Everything from mini camps to trade rumors to leaked statements is perfectly timed for maximum impact. So Stefanski's comment, innocent as it may seem, could be part of a larger orchestration. If the Browns already know they're out of the running for SHEDEUR, and let's be honest, they've got Deshaun Watson locked in, then maybe Stefanski is just being honest, showing a little admiration for a player he won't be coaching. And if he knows Pittsburgh is the likely destination, why not wish him well? Coaches talk, GMs talk, agents leak things. Nothing happens in a vacuum, and moments like these are often the tip of the iceberg. Social media has, predictably, gone into overdrive. Fans are already posting mock-ups of SHEDEUR in a Steelers jersey, while Browns faithful are wondering if Stefanski just slipped up or purposely stirred the pot. SHEDEUR himself hasn't commented on the situation, though he's been seen training with NFL-caliber receivers and has posted cryptic captions that fans are dissecting like they're reading tea leaves. One post read, "The real ones know where I'm headed." Is that a reference to the Steelers, to a general NFL journey? Or is he just trolling for engagement? Hard to say. But in this era of athletes being their own media brands, you better believe every word is deliberate, and every silence even more so. The quiet after Stefanski's comment has been loud. Some analysts are also drawing parallels to previous draft year whispers. Remember when Burrow was rumored to be heading to Cincinnati months before the draft? Or when Trevor Lawrence basically had his Jacksonville jersey ready before even shaking Roger Goodell's hand? The NFL may be a league of parity, but when it comes to quarterback plans, things leak. Teams plan years in advance, especially when a QB like SHEDEUR could become the face of their franchise. The Steelers, long known for their stability and culture, could see SHEDEUR as their next Big Ben. A player to lead them into a new decade, one with swag, intelligence, and that undeniable Sanders energy. It's not far-fetched, it's actually starting to feel inevitable. From a football standpoint, it makes a ton of sense. SHEDEUR has a game that's NFL-ready, but still raw enough to be molded. He thrives in chaos, throws with anticipation, and has shown he can read defenses at a high level. Pittsburgh's offensive line is improving. They've got young talent at receiver, and the defense is still anchored by TJ Watt and Minkah Fitzpatrick. That means SHEDEUR wouldn't be asked to do everything on day one. He could ease in, maybe even learn under Russ for a few games or a season, and then unleash. That's the kind of setup teams dream about. That's how you build a winner, not just for a year, but for years to come. Still, there are doubters. Critics argue that Stefanski might have just been joking, that the whole thing is being blown out of proportion. But here's the thing, in the NFL, perception is reality. One offhand comment can shift entire narratives. Agents use it, teams respond to it, and fans, well, they run with it. So whether Stefanski meant it or not, the ripple effect has already started. Radio shows are debating it, podcasts are breaking it down frame by frame, and insiders are suddenly a lot more interested in SHEDEUR's camp. Rumors like these don't die quickly. They evolve, they grow, and sometimes they become real before our very eyes. So where does this leave us right now? We're in that delicious part of the NFL year where facts are few, but theories are many. Stefanski's comment might have been an innocent moment, or it might have been the start of something bigger, something calculated, something true. One thing's for sure, the NFL is better when stories like these bubble up. Because whether you're a Browns fan, a Steelers fan, or just a fan of the game, the idea of SHEDEUR Sanders bringing his talent, charisma, and leadership to a franchise like Pittsburgh, that's must-watch football. And if Kevin Stefanski's words were more than just a farewell, if they were a clue, then buckle up. Because the NFL's next great quarterback storyline might have just started with a casual good luck. And we'll all be watching to see where it goes. Thanks for riding with us on another Browns Blitz. If you liked the video, share it with a fellow fan, hit subscribe, and ring that bell so you're always part of the Dawg Pound conversation. Go Browns!